Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and subscribing to the Joe Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods here. You know, I've been at war with some of these shows because it amazes me the stuff that people put out. Because, it used to be about sports. You put out the numbers and everything else, and you let the fan decide for themselves what is right. But they're not even putting out the right information to give you an opportunity to make an opinion. They're making their own opinions that are so far off. And here, it's almost sad and pathetic what goes on a regular basis. Now, let's listen to this clip real quick, and then I'm going to tell you why they are pretty much stupid.
LeVar Arrington are back. Let's move to Dallas, where the Cowboys reportedly just signed offensive lineman La'el Collins to a 5-year extension. Dallas has now signed Collins, Jaylon Smith, and DeMarcus Lawrence to big new deals and appear to be nearing terms with Ezekiel Elliott. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott hasn't signed a reportedly massive offer from the team, and as Jerry Jones just pointed out, the pie is getting smaller. All right, the question here is, think Dak has lost leverage with the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Stupid.
More importantly, you can see the Cowboys, and you know what? Quietly, we're not scared of this franchise tag with you. Quietly, we're not scared to roll the dice on you in terms of what you mean to this franchise. Dak has a great argument. I want $1 more than Carson Wentz. That's me guessing what he's thinking. But sometimes you could be penny wise and pound foolish. And boy, Dak, damn it, you're going to end up playing for that franchise tag. And that normally, in my mind, is not a bad thing. You're getting top 5 average salary. That's
It
great.
used to be a bad thing.
It used to be, yeah, it had a great connotation. But now, if you're a guy who's still, in the eyes of many, needing to prove yourself, you don't want to be in a position where every year you're still needing to prove yourself to get your long-term security.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
God.
Right, and Kirk won that one. Now, is Dak going to win his? I think quietly the brass is saying, we're going to punt on you, Dak, unless you want to sign on these lesser terms. And let's see if you are Kirk Cousins. Because even Kirk Cousins has heard the message of what Dak is singing in terms of playing that out. Minnesota's sitting there like, what did we really get with this fully guaranteed contract? Penny wise, but maybe pound
Oh,
foolish.
God.
I mean, I think Jerry Jones saying the pie is getting smaller this is his version of we're going to go forward with Tony Pollard as our starting running back this year because we believe in him. I truly believe that this is just a negotiating tactic because at the end of the day, the most important position on the football field is still the quarterback position, right? And you have a young quarterback in Dak who you like, right? And I think it also some of the ownership needs to go on Dak too. If they want to make you top 5, highest paid quarterbacks, and you're not putting up top 5 highest paid production numbers, then you got a really good deal, right? And so
Dak is closer to Tony Pollard than he is
You know
Zeke
what?
Elliott.
Kiss my ass. Okay, just kiss my ass. Jabba the freaking Hutt, man. I am so sick of the bull crap that they put out there.
The thing I was thinking about in my mind while you were talking, Raj, was you kind of said it in a different way, but I posed the question earlier off camera, is that a franchise? What's the first thing that comes to mind if I ask a franchise player?
Yeah.
Well, if I ask you right now about Dak, all right, what's the first thing that comes to mind if I ask you? Is he the franchise quarterback? Is he a franchise quarterback?
for the Cowboys, yes.
No. Is he a franchise
Don't
quarterback?
try to change that up.
Don't say that.
You see, I got
Is he dead? Is he a franchise quarterback? Right, exactly. So the reality here is, yes, the pie is getting smaller. Yes, it is. And I don't think that that's a negotiation.
Let's stop right there. Let's stop right here because this is where they are just putting out just straight crap. They don't seem to understand this because here's the thing. Oh, they signed Jaylon Smith. They signed La'el Collins. The pie's getting smaller. They're basically giving away all the money for Dak Prescott. And they have missed the damn boat on this thing. So far, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Are you guys really that stupid that you don't realize what they are doing? Here's what you got to understand. Yes, they signed Jaylon Smith to a contract. You know what Jaylon Smith's cap number is for this year? Do you know? Do you guys who keep saying that the pie's getting smaller, there ain't no money to pay Dak, you know, it's musical chairs, all the chairs are gone. Jaylon Smith's number, after getting that $65 million contract, because this is where the Cowboys, oh my God, they are so freaking smart. His cap number for this year is $2.5 million, $2.5 million. Next year goes up to 7.7. That's it. Top 5 linebacker next year is only going to cost you $7.7 million. No, but wait. If you act now, there's even more to this equation. Because these guys, evidently, they've only given them enough information to be dangerous or to be stupid. Okay? Because now they're talking about, oh, Dak Prescott, there's no money for Dak Prescott. That's where you guys are so freaking wrong. And it really pisses me off because a lot of you people watch these shows and believe the crap that they're spilling to you. Because here's La'el Collins. Because a lot of people are like, oh my God, they just signed La'el Collins to a $65 million extension, man. There ain't no money for Dak Prescott. Oh, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick because it probably hasn't changed yet. Let's take a look at over the cap. You know, it's amazing that I'm a guy with a day job and I can figure this stuff out. Why is it that these guys that have a whole network of people working for them, why is it that they can't figure this stuff out? Okay? Over the cap. I'm sorry, I should have already had that loaded up, but I just watched this and it just really just got my blood to boil because every single day the narrative is, this guy, you know, we're talking about signing Zeke Elliott. We're talking about signing La'el Collins, yet they sit here and throw shade on the quarterback who's not even in the conversation here. It's about Zeke Elliott coming back from Cabo, getting his deal, and it's about La'el Collins getting his. Yet, they're talking about Dak Prescott. He's not even good as Tony Pollard. Oh, man, shut up, Jabba the Hutt. Man, like I said, I'm just literally ticked off. Okay, come on, finish loading. There's so much money in Dallas that it's taking forever to load up here. But La'el Collins, his cap number for this year, because I had talked about this and said, you know what, he could be a guy that you look at and say, maybe we can make a trade because his cap number was so high. Let's see if they've already adjusted it or not. La'el Collins. Okay. Now, oh, they've already adjusted it. La'el Collins, before they made this contract, his cap number was $9.5 million. 9.5. You guys know this because I've talked about this and I've said, you know, it's amazing that Zeke Elliott's only going to make 3.8 when La'el Collins is getting 9.5 million. But guess what? What they did when they gave him this contract extension is they reduced that number to $4.5 million. $4.5 million. They created cap room. Let me say that again. By doing this deal with La'el Collins, they created $5 million worth of cap space. By doing Jaylon Smith's deal, they created more cap room because if they waited, it was going to cost them a lot more down the road. You understand where this goes? Because the Dallas Cowboys are masters of doing these things. Understand, because people are sitting there saying, oh my God, you paid, you know, La'el Collins too much money. La'el Collins was scheduled on the cap to make $9.5 million. Now it's only 4.5. And what they have done is they've stretched him out. So basically he's about a $9 million cap hit for every year for the next 5 years, where they have an out on him after 2 years. You were already paying him $9 million. So what you did, though, was you created space, making it easier to sign your quarterback. Because we went from $24 million before La'el Collins on this year's cap to $29 million. Yet these guys are up here, oh, this is sending a message to Dak Prescott. Ain't no money left for you, bro. Nobody wants you. Come on, man. Come on. Let's get this stuff right. Let's stop putting out there lies and deceit, because that's not what it is. Because in the same breath, Amari Cooper's almost a $14 million deal this year, last year of it. They get him signed, guess what? They will get more cap relief. All these moves are being made to end up increasing cap space to be able to sign this. And this is where the Dallas Cowboys are really, really smart. This is where they're really smart. And this is a problem that the Dallas Cowboys have that nobody else has. Because understand, 10 of the Dallas Cowboys' first-round draft picks are still on the roster. It's unheard of. It's unbelievable. When you see teams like, the Giants with Eric Flowers, when you see the Redskins with, like, Dotson, that are releasing first-round draft picks, the Cowboys have hit on these guys. And the genius part about this is the Dallas Cowboys recognize that the salary cap is going to go up big time. And when it goes up big time and there's more money to spend, the salaries are going to go up as well. But by locking these guys in, by owning Zeke Elliott right now for the next 6-8 years, by owning the offensive linemen before this thing goes, they're in a position, a prime position, that if they decide we want to get some free agents, they can do this. This is where everybody looks at the Cowboys and say they're stupid. No, the Cowboys are crazy. Crazy like a fox. And I'm telling you, what we have right here is the reincarnation of the 90s. You may not believe it, but you have so much talent that this team has amassed. You have depth like we haven't had. We've had great players before, but the problem has always been that we've lost a player here or two, then all of a sudden, we got scrubs in. Our second-line players are good enough to start on other teams. And the Cowboys, you may not think it. You may not believe it, but the Dallas Cowboys have made miracles out of what used to be cap hell just 5 years ago. The Dallas Cowboys have taken the worst defense in the NFL and made it one of the top ones. The Dallas Cowboys has gotten a franchise quarterback in the 4th round, while other teams are trading up 2, 3, 4 players to try and grab one, only to find out that he might or might not be the guy. And it just really pisses me off that me, just Joe Blow, a carpenter, a guy in his basement who just does this for the fun of it, knows more than these guys that are getting paid buku money to be on television spouting this bullshit. It just really irks the hell out of me. There ought to be a law. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I think I need to go cool off now. I'll talk to you in a bit.